Hi there, my name's Toni Dent. I'm the founder of PartiLife, and I'm here with your tip of the week. So, today I'm actually going to be talking a little bit about sandpaper. Now, as many of you know, we do sign parties and a number of other parties that have wood or unfinished wood, whether it's a planter, a sign, a youth sign, a welcome chart, a growth chart, you name it. We have lots. A calendar, we have lots of things with wood. So, here's a bit of tips in regards to when you're working with wood. Now, as most of you probably know, sanding is something that a lot of people do for wood, especially when you start with something unfinished. Most of our pieces are already pre-sanded. However, it never hurts to take a look, or if you're doing something with sand at home, especially with reclaimed wood. Reclaimed wood is beautiful. However, it does have a lot of inconsistencies and that kind of thing, so sanding it down really does help. Now, if you have a palm sander, which is a plug-in tool, like a power tool, great, that works awesome. Not everybody has that available to them, especially if they don't work with wood on a regular basis. You wouldn't generally need a palm sander unless you're using, doing carpentry or furniture making or furniture refinishing, all that kind of stuff, or doing stuff with us a lot, then it might be worth it. But what we're going to talk about today is sandpaper. So I have two sandpaper blocks here. So these are sanding blocks. They're just like sandpaper, exactly the same, except instead of putting it on a piece of paper, they actually put the sandpaper on foam. Now, they're different colors. They do that because these are different grits. And you can see these are both used, so you can see the paint and stuff on them. So they have paint on them because I was using them to distress. So that's something that we can perhaps talk about on a different day for tips and tricks. But for our sandpaper, if you look really closely, and I'll bring them closer to you, you can really see the difference in the grit or how heavy it is or how harsh it is. So this is our heavier grit. That's why you can see all the little pieces a little bit better. It looks a bit shinier. That's just because it's not quite as used, but there's some of it you can see. You can see there's bigger chunks of paint flakes. Now, this is a heavy grit or a harsher grit. This is what you would use first if you were, say, refinishing a piece of furniture and you wanted to give it a nice good sanding and then you wanted to do fine sanding. This would be that first sanding. This is really great, say, if you have something that's distressed or older or a bit dirty, you can really scrub off a lot of dirt that doesn't work with a cloth with one of these, or even to smooth it out. This is great for any pieces, say, if on our signs when they're first cut, the edges sometimes have little splinters and stuff sticking out. We'll use one of these to just grab the big pieces off of those. This here is your finer sandpaper. So this is a little bit finer. It's a bit softer. It's not as coarse. It doesn't hurt my hand nearly as much. This one, definitely you can feel it. This one's a little bit softer. And it's a little bit less risky in the sense that if you are using it for something, it's not going to take effect nearly as quickly as it would with this coarser grit. So when I'm using sandpaper to do certain things that are more finishing type of work, so say I'm doing a final sand to really smooth out and make my piece of wood feel really nice and soft, this isn't going to scratch the wood as much either. So there's less risk of getting big gouges in it, which can happen with something like this, especially when you're learning. Once you have more experience using your sandpaper or a sanding block, again, it's the same thing. These are just a little bit more comfortable to hold and easier to handle. So that's why I grab these on a regular basis. But this is a lot less risky. If you have a lot to sand down, it's going to take a really long time with one of these though, and that's where this comes in handy. So this is for the finer stuff. When I'm distressing glass, like say for mason jars, this is what I would use. This is going to put big scratches in it, which is great if you like a lot of distressing, but most people like to slowly distress as they go rather than go full force all at once. So that's where this is going to come in handy. So this is a finer grit. So that's our tip and tricks of the week. Just about sandpaper and the different grits or strength of how coarse it is or how fine it is, and what to consider when choosing your sandpaper or sanding blocks. You can actually get these sometimes in a pack of 5 and that kind of thing, so it's nice. They'll give you a variety of grits right off the hop. But that's our tip and trick of the week. Thanks for coming and watching today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Keep creating out there and have fun.